Welcome to Livingston, our podcast where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations to talk about what they are giving to our community.
As real estate professionals with the Putella Group, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week.
Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston. Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putella.
And I'm Angela Putella, and we're with the Putella Group Real Estate Professionals. And our podcast has been brought to you by Jim Paquette at Lake Michigan Credit Union. We really appreciate his support, and he does such an outstanding job with all of our clients.
Yes, he most definitely does. And we have a great episode in store for us today.
Yes.
We are really looking forward to talking with Ashley Watterson from Yoga Strong and Dan Oginsky from All Heart Garage.
And Brighton Lighthouse.
And Brighton Lighthouse, yes. But we are talking all about Operation Christmas Wishes today. So thank you guys for coming today.
You bet. Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
This is great. This is great. And if I don't miss my mark, I believe that this drops right on Thanksgiving. So everybody's feeling very thankful, very spirited, looking forward to the holiday
season extravaganza.
Yes. So this is a great way to dig into it and launch it. So why don't you tell us about what Operation Christmas Wishes is?
So Yoga Strong Foundation, my whole premise with any of it is really based on experiences, right? Like you can donate money to things, but it doesn't quite give you the same feel good that when you have the experience to like be involved in the project. So I work with Brighton High School and Pinckney High School to adopt, this year it's 921, like preschool, kindergarten, and first graders. Aww. So the high school kids, set the budget, shop for all the gifts, they wrap all the gifts, and then they get to go do the fun part, which is deliver them and spend the time with the kids. So they get to see something full circle and really be involved.
That is so huge and so powerful. And students at both of those high schools, which are just great Livingston County high schools, it's nice to give them that experience.
That is very cool. And I know that it's so impactful. And a few years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago, we were in Target the day that they showed up. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is a sight when you have like 30 high schoolers with carts of toys and coats and all kinds of things. And they get really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why it was so neat to see. And we asked around to be like, what is this event? Because these kids are, they're not the humdrum teenagers that we're used to seeing. They're just full of Christmas spirit.
Yeah, exactly. So most of them, like, they've seen the video previous years of what we do, but they don't really like get it until they go and do it. And it's so hard for them to kind of put into words like what the experience is for them, but they love it. I've heard multiple times it's like the highlight of their high school career.
Wow.
Which feels really good.
And for you guys to be able to service so many.
Yeah, that's a huge number, over 900.
Huge.
Well, I have this thing that I take on more every year, apparently. So we've gone from 349 the first year. We did just one school, which is that number for 5 years. And then last year we took on 2 schools, which was about 785. And then Dan and I were at an event called Cook for a Cause. And there's a moment where I'm literally talking to him and being like, so I got this idea. There are actually 4 schools in Ypsilanti, and I think I'm going to do it. And he's like, yeah, okay. Sounds great. So now we have 921, which is all of the early learning centers. So the preschoolers, kindergarten, first grade in all of Ypsi.
Wow.
I may have jumped off the bridge of sanity. We're about to see how it goes.
Wow.
Because this will be the first year for all of them, huh?
Mm-hmm. So Brighton has 2 schools. Pinckney has 2 schools. We've never done that before.
Wow.
Logistically, that has just got to be impressive because, they're coming in with all this stuff and you have to sort it, you have to wrap it. I mean, and they have lists that they're shopping for as well, right?
Yeah, so each kid in Ypsilanti, the teachers help us. They ask each kid what they want for the holiday season. Oh. So each kid gets exactly what they want. So the kids have very specific lists that they're shopping for and a bunch of things you don't think about.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of logistics. Mm-hmm. And I know, Dan, and your organization really helps and partners with hers Can you explain a little bit about the Lighthouse and All Heart Garage? And
Oh, sure. Well, first of all, at Brighton Lighthouse and All Heart Garage, Ashley is one of our residents, and we want to support all of the great things she's engaged with. I think people who know Ashley know she's a runner, and she takes action, and it's inspiring to see all the things that she takes on, and usually is in a mindset of let's get things done. But those of us who, the longer you know her, what you find out is she's got a very big, warm heart and really loves the idea of supporting kids who need support. And that's where, at least what I've learned, is that's where Operation Christmas Wishes comes from, is the thought that there are kids out there who, but for this program, wouldn't get any gifts for Christmas. And Ashley's here's a problem, let's solve it, let's take action. Which is super awesome, very inspiring, and we want to support that and Ashley and what she's up to, and everyone she's gathered to work with her on it. Now, the other cool thing is that at All Heart Garage, which for those who don't know, it's a warehouse building on Rickett Road that has office space and different spaces for different things you can do. We built it largely for small businesses or organizations that have a mixed need of some warehouse storage. You know, maybe you're trying to get out of your garage, out of your basement with your business, but you're not ready for a whole big space. Well, we built something that's the right amount of space for you at this time.
nice.
And there's office space, and there's this garage space that's kind of a flex space. You can do lots of things. You know, you can be a resident there and use that space for that, but also have access to Brighton Lighthouse, and there's lots of things you can do. And what's really cool is that for Operation Christmas Wishes, there is this part of the whole operation where they need, for a limited time, we need some warehouse storage space. We need some kind of a large open space for the kids to gather to wrap all these gifts. And a place to stage, you know, get all the stuff together, put them in the vehicles before they're launching out to their schools. And then, you know, I notice Ashley's around, Kelly Parachetti's helping her with it, you know, doing some work in the office space too. So Ann and I, my wife who owns Brighton Lighthouse and All Heart Garage with me, we feel very fortunate that the timing
Works
and
out
the
well.
resources match up with what Operation Christmas Wishes needs to, you know, in part to operate, that we have that. So we're able to carve out some space to make that available, you know, during the holiday season to help Operation Christmas Wishes go.
I think this is our third year there, right?
Yeah. So initially, this is before we built All Heart Garage. You know, first of all, Ashley and I are alike in some ways, and I really appreciate this about her. She came in to Brighton Lighthouse and said, "What is this?" And I explained it. I was there. I explained it. She goes, "Okay, I'm in." That's my memory of it.
I don't take very much convincing. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
Sounds good.
And a little while after that, you know, she was asking, "We have these Christmas gifts coming in for this project I'm working on. Could we put things in the basement?" And I said, maybe, you know, but it's a lot of stairs. But didn't take very long. We figured, well, we're building this warehouse. How about that? And it worked out pretty well. So
Cool.
It's kind of an interesting, fun time with all these packages being delivered. They get stacked up out front a little bit, but we're, you know, people are, especially all the other members working there too, kind of pitch in too. They see things getting delivered and bring them in, and it's kind of a fun thing to be doing.
That
It's
is so cool.
such a collaborative community, by the way, because we are also members of yours as well, and that's where we work out of. But just everybody that's there, Ashley, I know you can attest to this too. It's just such a community, and everybody really looks out for one another. They support one another, and it's really remarkable. And I just love that you're able to take projects like these and find a physical place for them, right? But then also to get them to grow and have that kind of support.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's really cool. And for the first 4 years, I was like storing all these gifts in my house. So I
Oh,
can't
my goodness.
walk anywhere. And when they opened All Heart Garage, I said, can you help us? Because this would be really great. And then with that space, we've just been able to take on more and do the 2 schools and now the 4 schools, because we have the opportunity to use one of the storage units for about 2 weeks. And then we wrap all of our gifts there too. So there's 2 days.
I was gonna say it's a cool highlight of the season for me on the day when all the kids come and wrap gifts, because they're, they find nooks and crannies in the place and places to camp out. It's a lot of kids and they're wrapping a lot of gifts, so it's a pretty active but fun thing to see.
Wow. So is it all the same day, the kids from Brighton and Pinckney, or?
No, that would be a little too chaotic, but we do the 1st and the 3rd this year. Pinckney wraps one day, Brighton wraps the other day. So we have 29 kids wrapping 400-ish gifts.
Wow.
That is so amazing. Yeah, and I wanted to ask a question about how the kids get involved. But before I do that, I just wanted to make mention of our sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union, just a great community member that's able to help make this possible. Today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Paquette is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. Now let's dive back into the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs we are featuring today. So my question though was, how do the kids at the school get picked to be involved in this?
So it's leadership class at Brighton High School, and then it's the link in leadership class at Pinckney. So they know when they're trying to get into these classes respectively that this is part of their projects. And it's kind of funny that you just mentioned Jim Paquette, because he helped us out so much last year. There were kids that were working out at Oak Point, and he overheard them talking about how they were caroling downtown for ladies' night, and they were, however much short from their goal. And Jim says, get whatever you can tonight. I'll help you. So he came through and gave them whatever they needed to get it done.
Wonderful.
Wow.
That is
See,
so
we
cool.
think so highly of Jim, and he sponsors this podcast, but really, he's just such a great community member, and it's not unusual for us to hear stories like this about the difference he makes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the caroling. How does the fundraising work to get all these funds to make this possible?
Yeah. So this year, Brighton's budget is $20,000. Pinckney's is $11,250.
Wow.
Yeah, because they each have like a different number of kids. Our budget per kid is $35. And each high school class comes up with committees, and they figure out like what kind of fundraising they want to do. So Brighton does a bake sale. They do caroling at ladies' night. They do hot cocoa during the lunches, which is a big one. Pinckney's big ones this year, they start fundraising a little bit earlier because they're not competing with so many things. Cider and donuts at the football game is a really big one for them. And then they do a dash for cash in the stands during football as well. And they each kind of do different things, which is fun to see.
And it's those kids in those classes that develop how they're going to go about raising money then.
Yeah, so I try to give them the autonomy to figure out, like, how do you want to do this? Because if I'm dictating to them what fundraising they're doing, if they don't like it, they're not going to do it. So we shift things a little bit each year. We've tried things that work really well, like babysitting day.
Oh, wow.
Huge. So I think both schools are going to try to execute that this year. And then there have been other things, like a bake sale doesn't work at Pinckney. Brighton's done a euchre tournament that's done well, but it's not like one of their top things.
Neat. And it's great that they're trying new things and different things and continuing to grow and to see the effects of that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch them take ownership and really kind of see things start to finish.
Wow. And do they go down to Ypsilanti?
Mm-hmm. They do. So the interesting thing about being from Brighton and Pinckney and all of that, when we go into the schools in Ypsilanti, like, we are the minority going in there. So Brighton kids, the first year we did this, they're like, well, they're going to want Nintendos and hoverboards and iPhones and all these things. These kids are between 4 and 7. They want baby dolls and Spider-Man toys and remote control cars. But really what they want is to hug on the big kids and to play with them and to just like spend the time. And that, I think, was the most surprising thing to both Brighton and Pinckney kids, that the gift was a little more secondary. The attention was really
what it was about,
what they love. Mm-hmm.
If I can, because I know Ashley's told me some of these stories, I think it'd be worth talking a little bit more about the reaction that of the kids when you go to Ypsilanti or go into these schools. You just started talking about it. I'm just curious, what's kind of the reaction you see live time? How do the kids react? What does it feel like the impact is like?
There's a lot of big feelings that happen. But one of my favorite videos last year that's on Facebook is a kid covered his eyes and he brought his gift over and he unwrapped it. And I said, okay, do you want me to open it for you? So I lifted up and it was a scooter that he wanted. And he was jumping up and down and yelling about his scooter and so happy. So all the big kids are laughing because it's hysterical. And the little kids are just like so overjoyed with a scooter that you forget the magic that happens with Christmas and Santa coming in and all of that, right? Like, so when you get to see it through little kids' eyes who, like Dan was saying, a lot of them don't get anything else. So their parents at this point really count on us to provide some joy and that they get to meet Santa. On the flip side of that, there was one story that's kind of sad because somebody had said something about Santa and he said, well, Santa's never been to my house. So you take a step back coming from Brighton and Pinckney and go, geez, I don't even think that.
Right.
Yeah. It seems like
That's
such a
powerful.
strange thought.
Mm-hmm.
Really the impact that you're making, right? Because Ypsilanti is just a hop, skip, and a throw from Brighton and Pinckney. And
Right.
to know that kids, not necessarily in the county, but that they're the kids that need the support.
Mm-hmm. So these statistics are old, but the average income for a family of four in Brighton, I'm going to go back 6 or 7 years, it's probably different, was $100,000. The pocket of Ypsilanti that we serve, the average income is $44,000 for a family of four.
Wow.
So it's a big discrepancy. I mean, these kids go home with food gatherers boxes every weekend. Like we get them winter gloves, winter hat. We do a boot closet, a coat closet, snacks for the classrooms. Like we do a lot of things that they wouldn't have otherwise. So when you look at what they're asking for gift wise, and even we do a survey with all the teachers of the schools, we need hand sanitizer. We need sanitizing wipes. We need construction paper. Our school needs a sandbox. Like these are the types of things that they want, where it really puts it in perspective that a sandbox is $200.
Right.
Yeah.
So with all those things and everything, and I mean, Pinckney schools and Brighton schools, they're doing so much with these leadership classes. How, if people are listening, how do they support you? What kinds of things can the listener do to help?
A couple different things. Obviously, money's the big one. So they do a Zephy link. Each school has like a link that they can donate to. There's no platform fees with Zephy, which is what we really love. But if that's maybe not in your wheelhouse this year, we're collecting a lot of wrapping paper, like any holiday wrapping paper. Think about how much wrapping paper it takes to wrap 920 gifts. That can be dropped off at Brighton Lighthouse, and we'll get it over to All Heart Garage and utilize that. But we're back on the hunt for that.
That's a great thing, because there are a lot of people that just, especially, people that aren't using the wrapping paper as much, they don't have lots of kids' gifts to wrap. A lot of them just have it sitting around here. What a great use for it.
I am super excited to provide some wrapping paper that's been sitting in our basement for the effort.
Yeah.
So I bet people have, wrapping paper they can provide.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. People have asked too, like, does it have to be a brand new roll? No, we go through so much wrapping paper that bring what you have.
I can only imagine the amount of wrapping paper and tape, and just, that many gifts, people sitting down and doing that. It's got to be an unbelievable sight when you see the
Now, do you have
pile.
enough scissors too, or?
So we did buy a bunch of scissors a few years ago that we actually own. We do get tape donated as well. It's a sight. I mean, we've got Christmas music coming. Dan provides either like pizza or Jimmy John's or something for the kids so that because they're coming right from school, so that they can eat and wrap, and they're all in their holiday gear. And
How long does it take them?
3 hours-ish.
Wow.
That's pretty
that's a long
efficient.
time. Nice.
They
I'd
do pretty
imagine.
good.
Yeah. But really gets them in the Christmas spirit there,
So what kind of impacts do you see in the students at Brighton and Howell? How does this experience change them?
Well, both of the schools raise a lot of money. I think Pink Week generated like almost $100,000 for Brighton, right?
Wow.
So they do a ton of fundraising, but again, like they don't see where it goes. So for this, I think I've heard so many times that this is just like the best day of high school, and it really gives them the want to go get involved in things and volunteer their time and actually be a part of something. So I think you give them a little piece of joy in the whole, I don't know, wanting to do more
Right.
with people that maybe don't have as much.
Right. Well, I can see that because you're right. Like Pink Week, so often you're fundraising for things, but you don't see the impact of that money at all. So it's you see the idea, but with what you're doing, you're actually lighting that fire within these kids to be like, see, this is what it does. So maybe then they get more involved earlier in life in those sorts of things because they're actually seeing the impact.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. They should almost play a video of that for the rest of the student body.
They do.
Do
so
they?
that's exactly what they
See?
do. So Brighton, for the last 5 years, I think, at their holiday assembly, that is the culmination of their holiday assembly. They send a video production team. They come up with a whole video of shopping, wrapping, delivering, like everything. They have some students that are debuted that talk about like their experience of the day, and then they play it. And it's kind of cool because I go and watch it too. Last year was the first year I hadn't seen anything with the video before, so I got to see it for the first time on the big screen with the rest of the student body.
That is awesome. Now, does that live someplace after the fact over
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube or anything? Or?
Yeah, so it's on the Yoga Strong Foundation.org website. I think we have like the last 4 videos from the 4 years on there.
Great. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Which we should take a moment here to make sure to talk about both of your organizations specifically, which it's neat that we've interviewed both of you guys separately. So, Ashley, your Yoga Strong episode was number 115. So it's been a hot minute. But Dan and his wife, Anna, that was episode 42, and the garage was just about to open. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah. I think a lot of people drive by the building on Rickett Road, the big green building. They like don't understand what it is. But I think Dan and Anna do so much for the community there. And that building specifically is kind of a little like nonprofit hub now because Reaching Higher's office is out of there. Obviously, Yoga Strong does a lot of things there as well. And it's just a really unique space because they have the big open space like he was talking about where you can do, I mean, I've hosted classes and events and fundraisers and all kinds of things. But then they've got like small meeting space if you need just to like come up with some ideas. They have the storage space if you need that too. Like, I feel like it's a very overlooked piece of the community that people don't understand what it's there and what it
that
does.
There's people out there that really could use this as a resource. There's a lot of, budding small business owners that this is nice, that you don't have to have a brick and mortar. You're able to be part of a community.
It's like a little
the benefits.
incubator space.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Well, let me also say that Operation Christmas Wishes is the project that Ashley's focused on right now, that Yoga Strong is focused on right now during this time of year. But Yoga Strong Foundation does so much good in so many ways. And Ashley really is just like a train engine, just chugging along. And this dedication to seeking out ways to support kids of different ages in different ways, it's really inspiring. And Ashley puts a ton of work into it. I know the last year or a couple of years, a lot of things we were talking about is spreading the workload, getting more people engaged, taking more responsibility. So Ashley's not doing everything, and she's doing that. But I know every week Yoga Strong hosts a Bend and Brew at Brewery Becker. That's a yoga session, and all the proceeds of that is donated to the fund that ends up going to kids. There's an annual scholarship, which surprisingly not enough kids apply for. But there's a scholarship opportunity that people can apply for through Yoga Strong Foundation. I think that happens in the spring. I think Ashley's gotten going a program for gathering up shoes to donate shoes to kids who need them, and I'm probably leaving a bunch of stuff out. But it's kind of amazing. It's kind of like we like to think of ourselves at Brighton Lighthouse and all our garage, a small but mighty team. I think probably like you guys. Ashley is becoming more of a team, and it's really a reflection of the importance of the mission and how much Yoga Strong is growing. But it does such amazing work, and that's because Ashley cares about it so much and is fueling that forward. So Operation Christmas Wishes is what's going on right now, and it's amazing, and people have a chance to support that. But it's definitely worth checking out all the things that Yoga Strong is doing, because it's all about helping kids and Ashley's passion for that, and creating opportunities for people to, I don't know how you would describe it, but using yoga as a way to be in your body and support your wellness too.
Yeah. No, I think your message resonates with a lot of people. So it makes a difference, And the fact that you're out there and you're doing it, right? How many people out there are passionate about a similar topic or even other topics? And the thing is, these things are attainable. You started small, but here you've just grown it year after year and gotten more and more people involved. And think of that first time you had that idea and how far you've come from it and how many kids have been impacted by the positivity. Like, it's powerful. It's really remarkable.
Dan has said this before, 10,000 hours to an overnight success. And that's exactly what it is. It's taken 10 years, I feel like, to feel the ripple effect and to have, adults now out there who were part of the program back in 2018. And I feel like now I have wanted to quit multiple times, but I keep doing it. But now I get more of like the feel good from it now.
Good.
And it gets bigger because people go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. You should do that. Or, okay, I know you're going to do it if you say you're going to. So it's been really fun to be able to have their spaces to grow what we do. Otherwise, like we wouldn't, where am I going to store 900 gifts?
Right. That's true.
There are some logistics to it that require a lot of help.
Right.
And let's just celebrate for a moment. Ashley and I share this attribute a little bit. Maybe you guys do too, but let's celebrate that sometimes it's not only okay, but maybe it's great that some of us decide, let's do this, and then think it through once it's going.
Right. There you go.
Because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of great things that might not happen if you have to think it all through.
That's
very
fair.
true.
I learned to fly the plane while it is in the air.
Yep.
And sometimes...
Build the plane while it's in there.
Yeah, that too. I mean, oh, gosh.
And that's where the stress comes from. But the fact that you're doing it is so powerful.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I've come up with plenty of ideas that haven't worked well, or I've gone, ooh, I probably should have thought that through a little bit more. But
Right.
if you're not trying it, you're never going to know if it's going to be a big success or not.
It's true.
Very true.
Can't wait till you're ready.
Yep. I was going to ask for when, because we were at, like I said, we were at Target the day they showed up one year.
Yeah.
Do you warn the store that you're coming?
So we didn't the first year. And I think somebody on my team was like, yeah, we should probably tell them we're coming because we clear them out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like, for those of you that are listening, if you haven't been there, it is a sight to behold. I am talking full carts, like just overflowing with stuff. And kids, like, just, they're so happy and they're jumping all over the place and they have lists and like you can hear the buzz in the entire store,
Yes.
but it was fascinating to see because, again, the smiles on their faces, they were getting
ear
so
to
much
ear.
out of doing this.
They, yes, they do. And it's like out of a scene of a movie, honestly, having
Right.
them be in there. But, sometimes they get really into it and they're like, well, should we get this or this one? Or, they ask specifically for this specific thing. And, well, I can't find that one. Great. Then wait, we'll go find it.
Right.
One of the things they've had to learn, though, is if you have somebody who wants a baby doll and you have 6 baby dolls in that classroom, they better all be the same.
There you go.
Oh, good point.
Well, and I think it's one of those things that is kind of been lost on a lot of people because of Amazon and everything, that there's something you get out of going out and doing the shopping.
Physically shopping, yes.
And I think that the holiday season, the Christmas season, when you go out there, sometimes you feel like part of that has been lost because like the packages are just showing up on your porch rather than physically going out and looking for it and getting that experience.
True, because it's about checking that box. Well, this is the item I'm buying for them. Go find it. Boom. Whereas I remember back in the day in 12 Oaks Mall and Cheek to Jowl, everybody was there and you're just wandering, trying to find the perfect gift for somebody. Whereas, in terms of understanding that element of giving, understanding that you're picking out what that child is going to have and physically taking it off the shelf into the cart with the glee and the joy that provides.
What a wonderful encouragement, too, to get out and go into the stores in town.
Yes.
And, support the stores. You're going to experience more of that joy of giving is that experience. So
yeah,
get
because
to
some
the
of these
stores and
teenagers
shop there.
don't necessarily have that.
No, we have so many great downtowns in Livingston County with these shops that have so many unique gifts and everything that you can get a little bit of that,
business,
experience, and I think that, again, you're teaching lessons to these kids that when you started off, you didn't even know what all the lessons that they were going to learn. And there's new ones that they're picking up every year. And it's so wonderful that you've been able to partner with the schools and, get that support, both ways to grow this program. And now, almost 1,000 gifts. And I'm sure we'll talk to you in a year or two from now. You'll be like, I'm doing 1,500.
Oh, gosh.
There are other schools in the county.
Don't you put that idea in my head. I need no help with that.
Honest to goodness. That's such a beautiful thing. And
Kids helping kids is really the fun part, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the adults that get to go chaperone and get to see the big kids play with the little kids. So
It's really cool.
it's pretty magical.
And like you said, for those little kids to be able to have these big kids, because I'm sure for them, maybe they just encounter adults, but I do remember times when my youngest, really just enjoyed the older kids and their friends, and that was just a whole experience unto itself.
Yeah, and specific to Ypsi, in this actual demographic that we go to, so 10% of these kids are homeless, 90% of them are low income. So, if they have working parents that are gone all day or they don't really have a home to go to, they love the attention of the big kids. And even with their toys that they unwrap, we're very strategic in they gift them, they unwrap them. We put everything together so that it cannot be taken back to a store. Or if it needs batteries, we put the batteries in it. Everything is ready to go. But some of the little kids are say, "Can I leave it here? Do I have to take it home? It's just mine. I want it to be here," because they don't want it to be taken away from someone else. So it really kind of puts it in perspective on the ownership that they take over the toys that they get and the pride that they have from it.
Right. That it's something for themselves.
It's just theirs. They don't have to share it.
Yeah.
Right. And to see that joy of a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, it's a different impact, so wonderful.
Making a difference, especially everybody out there enjoying their Thanksgiving holiday. This is definitely the time to act quickly, because you guys are going to be doing this very soon. So whether it's offering money for donating to help with these gifts in the purchase, or bringing by some wrapping paper.
Yes, we're done. Our last delivery day is December 5th, which is when all of our fundraising is completed.
Right.
Gotcha.
So if you see these groups out there caroling or doing other things to gather up some money for this, support them.
Yeah.
There's 2 different things that they're going to be at. I want to say Pinckney's Light Up the Town is the weekend of Thanksgiving. I think it's that Saturday. I don't know the exact date, but they'll be out there caroling and collecting money. And then Brighton Ladies Night, downtown Brighton, is December 4th, and they'll be out caroling right
Very
at the
cool.
fire pit.
Nice.
Wonderful. Well, I know we hit on a lot of things with this. Is there anything we forgot about Operation Christmas Wishes that we wanted to hit on?
Not that I can think of. Did I miss anything?
Well, I'll just say, I think, based on the schedule, if folks are hearing this podcast and it's Thanksgiving weekend, you got basically a couple or few days to find the link and make a donation if you want to support the cause or bring that wrapping paper by. Take action, the Thanksgiving weekend if you're listening to it then, or I think there's a couple days after that to participate and help out this year.
Although
Right.
if someone is listening to it and it has passed that time, this is something you guys do every year, right?
Yes, this is the 7th annual.
Yes. So, and sometimes people do listen
Yep, absolutely.
again. And the thing is, I'm sure that new need is still always going to be there. So that would be something to kind of put in your tickler and to pay attention to for next year as well. If you've missed it, hopefully you haven't. But that is a possibility as well.
Yep.
That was the fun part. So we do coloring books and crayons for every kid too. And people now start to think about that. So when crayons went on sale for 50 cents a box or whatever, right around the time school was coming back in, I already have 900 boxes of crayons ready to go. So I didn't even have to ask. People just did it,
Wow.
which is really cool.
See, so thinking ahead and all those good things. So definitely watch for all of that. In the show notes, we do have some of the details for how to find out more information.
Yes. Yep. So thank you guys for coming today. We really appreciate it. And we love hearing about your guys' great organizations and how you support the community.
Making a big difference. We appreciate all that you guys do.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much. And
Welcome to Livingston.